Abeokuta, that's reportedly turned violent at some point. We saw a procession, candlelight procession in Ondo State. Images also from Ekiti shows that there was one there as well. We're seeing this calls for justice growing into protest and processions, and it's going in one direction. Like you mentioned, in your submission, your first submission, we're seeing something in the shape of the protest we had back in 2020. What can be done to ensure that these agitations, yes, a panel has been set up, but it appears it is growing. This calls via social media is growing. The hashtag is gaining momentum. Is there anything government can do to further assure the youths who appear at this moment, at least from the look of things on social media, restless over this situation?
We want to understand that the youth are restless anyways, because of the outcome of the 2023 elections, and there are rumors. I'm sure you are journalists are aware that some people are already organizing around. Because this is just something that provided them with an issue to rally around, basically to enhance their own agenda. And I said earlier, I'm sure that that's what the governors in the Southwest primarily are trying to ensure that there's no more. There are other answers. Only remember that the answers originally were very peaceful. That it was basically to fight an injustice before the witchcraft and the political jobbers took over. And so that's what the government and the police are trying very hard right now to ensure does not come to that. So the only thing they can do is what they are doing. Like I said, they are going to active. Mr. Dr. Zach, the deputy governor, and Mr. Tyler is the chief of staff. Normally, we will not consider this is the family of the disease. Remember, the disease was not killed by the security forces. It was not a victim of police deadness. It was not a victim of state terrorism. But the government, they realized very quickly that the narration can be started going forward if they don't move quickly. So that's why I'm commending them that as of this morning, they need to nip it in the bud before the shenanigans that led to the loss of life and property in 2020 resurfaces. And they can only do what they are doing right now. They can't do any more than to declare curfew or to take away people's rights to protest. But they must also be proactive in such a manner to show they are not part and parcel of the system that led to the young man being killed or dying. But today, as we say in Yoruba, when people are looking for a reason to fight, they always get one. So it doesn't matter whether they're not unfortunate that they're using the death of this young man as a large charge for their nefarious attempt to cause trouble.
I'm not sure that is the case. Exactly. Though. I mean, I think that we should accord, individuals, and this is maybe how those who knew him personally, those who didn't meet him, but who just feel like justice should be served, have decided to go about it. The hashtag is growing, like I mentioned, and it's developing. I don't see how this is related in any way to politics. There's been no tone as such. I don't know. You might want to state what you know as regards this and why you mentioned that.
Because we've been here before. Like I mentioned earlier, when the young movement started, it started on the movements. They are not violent. They are basically to create injustice against a systemic eradication of their rights. And it's looking the same way with this. And we keep telling people that we want elders sitting down. We want people cannot sit standing up. And so while we collaborate with the family for their loss, and while we are also very angry, we identify the fact that the young man went to the police, that his life is being threatened, and everything leading to what we are condemning abuse on the part of the police. This is not really the issue. The issue is to find out what really happened, investigate what contributions to sorry pass, and try to be as proactive as possible. But you and I know, based on our history, that this matter is done quickly and very fast. That the state and the police, a lot of people, their own agenda, will hijack this particular movement for their political or neighboring friends. So we need to run out quickly that the reason why the police and the government are doing what they are doing is to ensure we don't go through that again. Because normally in Yoruba we have a saying that the man that was killed by a madman will run at the side of the mechanic. So we just have to be proactive in ensuring that all the hashtags, the know where they are, basically to mourn the loss of one of our rising stars in Nigerian music. And that is no more than that. That to me is more fundamental than trying to just, not that I tell you, most of the people trying to protest, you cannot sing 2 lines from the young man's songs. A lot of people are even aware he was alive, only when he died. So that
GKB, how does, sorry GKB to come in, how does that affect the mysterious circumstance leading to the death of this? Do I necessarily have to know 2 lines of his songs before I can be aggrieved by what has happened in the mysterious circumstance surrounding his death?
You are correct. The point I'm making is that because we are in this, because we are on the entertainment journalism, because we work on broadcasting, we know who these people are. There are a lot of people are coming in because of the injustice that they perceive led to death or to the level of immunity that those who did this stuff will enjoy. So our people are reacting in that manner, not because they know or because they know what it represents,
right,
but because when they see an injustice, they want to fight it. The point I'm making is that the government needs to be proactive and the police needs to move quickly and resolve that problem. Because if they do not, a lot of people are waiting in the wings to exploit that situation most trouble in our country.
All right, GKB, I know that, like you're also aware, this is an issue undergoing investigation. But let's look at the incident preceding this, situation that we found ourselves in. Perhaps you must have seen the video where the supposed Mohbad was, in a state of agony, if I may put it that way.
Yeah.
Yes, and he was saying that exactly, very unfortunate, seeing there that he was given something to drink, and he mentioned the agency of government where that happened. Though that agency of government had come out to say that nothing like that was given to him, and the circumstances, just 2 days he was buried. He wasn't a Muslim who we could say, oh, yes, within 24 hours he ought to be buried and all that. Do you think there's, yes, we know it's under investigation, it's not in court, so we can discuss it. Do you think there's an orchestration to cover up some things that we might not be aware of here?
Yeah, on another program on Monday, I remember that we discussed the fact that he wrote a letter to the police on his own letterhead, complaining seriously about that his life is in danger. Of course, that is an indictment of our police force when it comes to being proactive. So that one is a given. The fact that he also complained on video that he was, for the use of a better word, poison. If I can use that already, without getting into trouble. And which was an allegation anyway. Of course, led to the fact that something must be done and be done quickly. Because a lot of people are coming on board, like I said earlier, basically because they see this as an injustice. Not because he's a musician, but because it was obvious that he does not follow the normal sequence that you expect in case of this thing. Because it is expected that when it was proclaimed, when it was pronounced dead, it was expected that based on the fact that they have reported to the police earlier, that the police will take charge immediately of the cause. Hello?
Well, see. Go on.
And they take control of the cause and then do the postmortem immediately. But a lot of stories coming out from the family, coming out from his associates, does not really gel. That I use that term. It doesn't follow logic. The way things are being done. So a lot of people are very skeptical when they hear these stories, and that's why I think that it's effective. And that's also why I'm glad that the government of Lagos and the police in Lagos are moving very quickly to make sure that things are done and the matters are investigated. Unfortunately, people are set in their ways that the system is corrupt and they will not get justice. That to me is the lacuna, whatever we are discussing today. Because of the way the matter was treated earlier, it's not really difficult for our people to believe whatever the families are that does not indict somebody.
And maybe that is further compounded by the fact that he had written, I'm talking Mohbad now, sadly, again, it's quite sad that each time I have to mention Mohbad, what just comes to mind is, well, he's gone. But we're discussing that now. But yeah, I was just going to say that maybe this lack of trust, this trust deficit between the people and the system is as a result of the fact that that petition is submitted to the police in Kwanti. Emerged at some point to say, oh, back in July, this young man literally cried out to the police to say, there's a threat to my life from an individual and 15 other persons. Don't you think that's also responsible for this? Even if the police at some point had mentioned that, oh, there were certain reasons why that didn't happen. But we know yesterday, the first public relations officer, Oluwadejobi, did say that that would be investigated as to why that petition was not followed through.
Well, I agree with you totally that there is, of course, signs that there are things that are missed. But why not defending the police? You must also know that you get petitions on this picture every day. And most of the time, it's their discretion to decide whether to take it seriously or not. I know that in some other countries, everything like this was investigated and then put in a box whether it's true or not. But, like I said, the police are quite capable of defending themselves. But I do know the officer in charge of party very well, and he's a thoroughbred professional. He's also a lawyer. So I'm sure things like this will have done it to his desk, will have moved on it in such a manner to ensure whether they've tried to investigate or not. Because sometimes when people make allegations, the onus is on them to prove it, not the police. So sometimes because I know of a particular case where a man said that somebody killed his wife. When the man died, the person who killed his wife was about 2,000 kilometers away. And he himself was not even in Nigeria. And then you wonder how the police will now put something on this. So if something happens to the man tomorrow, are we going to do the same thing and say that, well, it doesn't try to reason this will happen? But I'm glad that Wiwa said, the police PRO, said they are investigating this. I think we need to wait as journalists to see what will be the outcome of that investigation.
What lessons, in your view, JKB, should the police learn from this as well? Maybe things, just maybe, we never know, things wouldn't have gotten to this, don't you think?
I can't say I'm sorry.
Oh yes, I said what lessons should the police learn from this though? And again, I say that maybe we would never know. I mean, personally, I can speak for myself, not a soothsayer. I do not know if this.
You know that we are under police, right? You know that. You know that one man who are the number of these are for us. Not that the government consider for the number of the cost patients. So the police, of course, is short-staffed. I'm sure you are aware of that. So, to move this forward, but these advocates of state police, or even community police, because I believe that the crime that are solved if the people in charge are local, in a particular environment. For example, if somebody who is not aware of who Mohbad is, or does not listen to the music, and have no access to community intelligence, so what's happening with the music industry. The tendency would be to just dismiss it as a ranting of another drug that person. You understand? So what they need to learn from this basically, apart from creating trust issues, is to ensure that every petition is handled to a particular point. They must give officers the right to investigate. That's why they have IPOs, by the way. So that means every case will have an IPO, an investigating police officer. So who is the IPO when it gets to the petition by Mohbad? You need to know. The IPO must tell us what he or she has done to verify or debunk the allegation. We need to know. All this can only be provided by the police investigation unit that is currently being constituted. Without that, it will just be like us moving in the dark. We don't know exactly what will be the outcome of this.
GKB, let's look at the police response to this. Why they could not, act on Mohbad's petition. But I just want to even read some portions of Mohbad's petition so that we can get a better perspective. He said that part of the petition reads goes to us. Just a moment. So he said some people came to where he was doing a shoot. They came with about 15 people, led by an individual called Sam Larry Elegushi, and they invaded the premises with dangerous arms, including guns and cutlasses, amongst others, and disrupted his shooting. That's the shooting of, I think, a movie or his music video. Exactly. So he said he damaged some equipment worth about 5 million naira. And more importantly, he said they started threatening my life, which in the process they became violent and assaulted me, which I sustained injuries but narrowly escaped. Total amount I paid for the shooting they had destroyed is 8 million naira, which is non-refundable. So he said, however, during the assault, they were boasting that they worked for Legushi. Meanwhile, the royal family had come out to denounce this, and they have been asked to deal with me for reasons best known to them, which to date they are threatening to kill me if seen. Sir, that is to the police. I call on your good office to save my life from the above mentioned persons and bring them to book. Now, to the Lagos State Police Command, that's the Alagbon Annex, FCID 2, where he wrote the petition. This is what they have to say. They said the police added that, okay, the reason is because that it could not act on the petition written by singer Ilerolu because, quote, he never showed up and there was nothing the police could do if a petitioner refuses to defend their petition. Now, the traducers, that's the person who Mohbad was accusing of threatening his life, they wrote a counter petition to that effect. The counter petition was that Mohbad was defamed them, defamation of their character. How does defamation of character and threat to life, should the police act on someone who shows up for defamation of character, which is a civil matter I see here, but compared to threat to life? So that's the issue here. GKB, perhaps you might want to wade into this.
No. Like I told you, I'm very familiar with the case. Because as journalists, you cannot just sit in the comfort of the office and not know. Like I said, I know most of these officers at the highest level. So I asked questions and they told me. The point I'm making is this. He who alleges must prove. That's the law. It's not selective. So when the police are saying that Mohbad did not turn up to defend his petition, Mohbad is dead. We cannot get his own side of the story. That now puts a cloud on the police response to whether he came to defend it or not. Because again, the petitioner is dead. But the question we are asking, and which I'm sure you also are asking, is the fact that between the time the petition was filed and today, what has the police done basically to ensure that his complaint about his life in danger was treated not with levity, but with a certain sense of responsibility. I think that's what led to what a lot of people are asking questions today. So that will be the key. Because one thing is to write a petition. Another, there was a time I know a guy was trying to pick up a man who owed him money. And the police told him point blank that you must follow us to this place. We will follow you, but you must leave. But the man was trying to say that, no, I cannot go, I don't want you to see me. They said, you don't have a case. Because if you complain somebody cheated you, you must be able to confront the person in person. So that's what I'm saying. So that's where the local stands as far as the police is concerned.
All right.
That's why people are asking for justice. Because if we are against must prove, but if the police is saying that Mohbad never turned up to defend his petition, that's another thing entirely. Mohbad is dead, and that's why we can verify that particular statement.
Well, just to further state that in that interview where the spokesperson of the FCID mentioned what they did when they got the petition, and this is just reporting what was reported on that, is that they invited Mohbad and the accused, and that Mohbad refused to show up. Besides that, and they said that, well, there is nothing the police can do when the petitioner refuses to show up with evidences to back up his claims, and that is that. Well, GKB, in a moment we'll talk about what this teaches everyone, because we're all learning from this process. We know what it can be when one is literally scared for his or her life, and it's even further invited by the police when he has submitted a petition. I'm sure that for many persons, they'll imagine that when I submit a petition, the police should quickly just do their investigation and assure me that I'll be safe. But we'll talk about that in a moment. Let's hear what Nigerians have to say about this. Lagos, Nigeria. We're talking about Mohbad's death, unfortunate death. It's been 1 week since he died. Last Tuesday, precisely the 12th day of September 2023, reports emerged that Mohbad had died. He was buried the next day. Lots of persons talking about that as well. Why was he hurriedly buried? There's a video which has gone viral. We cannot independently verify that video, but the video just states, showing someone who claims to be the chairman of the neighborhood, the community where he was buried, where he reportedly owns a property, a land, where he was buried, that his father was going to hurriedly bury him the night before, but the man in the video, again, we cannot verify this independently now, but did say that, well, he didn't allow that and refused them burying him already the night before. But let the police do their investigation. Lagos, Nigeria, what do you have to say about this? 0909 555 1039 and 0703 2277 338. You one of those calling for justice on this? Would like to get your thoughts on this and what lessons you are learning from this entire thing as well, and what lessons you think government should learn in handling situations. Let's talk some more. You can send in voice notes, you can send in messages via WhatsApp 0703 2277 338, or you call 0909 555 1039. It's the Take the Mic segment on the Discourse this morning.
Take the mic. We want to hear you. On the Low FM Morning Show.
Alrighty, grab the mic then. 0909 555 1039 0703 2277 338 numbers to call. Yes, GKB, let's talk about the lessons even further. You responded to that earlier, what lessons the police should learn from this, but even for petitioners as well. The police has said if you submit a petition, we need you to come through to provide evidences, right? But you do know on the flip side also that when one is literally scared for their life, right, it's even difficult for them to maybe step out, for them to walk around until they are assured, and even when the police says come through, we need to hear from you. What more can the police do? Or what would you advise from your experience as well with your relations with security operatives? Can they do to further assure petitioners so that they can come forward with evidences too?
Well, the moment you decide to report to the police, that means you are ready to abide by the rules of engagement, including the fact that you must provide evidence. What the police can do basically at that point in time is to follow into to the scene of the crime, see exactly what went down, take pictures, talk to some people, and then give you maybe an officer or two for a couple of days until the team blows over. But again, the police are seriously undermanned, as you know. They are seriously understaffed. So they cannot, in good conscience, follow up on everything based on their current logistical challenges that they have. It would have been far easier if they had enough policemen, or if this matter had been that, or if they had state police, for example. So in that, you have to understand where the police is coming from. Of course, there will be attempts in the next few days or the next few weeks to follow up on every lead quickly and with haste. But you and I know that sooner or later, based on the challenges that they have for manpower, they will go back to the usual pattern that has been in operation.
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sorry, but that's exactly where Nigerians would have problem, or actually have problems now, because they believe, well, this energy you're exerting now, why didn't you do that? Why aren't you doing that for even petitions on your table now?
Like I said, they are understaffed. You have to understand where they are coming from. The police in Nigeria, because we insist on running only the federal police, they are seriously understaffed. And one of the leading authorities on police reforms in Nigeria, and I know what I'm talking about, a lot of things needed to be done to make our police the police of our dreams. For example, there's an urgent need for state police. Urgently. The Nigerian police need, as of today, they need nothing less than 100,000 new personnel to even break even. Not to talk of going overboard to protect us. And even if they withdraw all those policemen attached to VIPs and bring them back into the service, there will still be a shortfall of about 30,000 policemen needed throughout Nigeria. So while we are looking for the police to do their job, we must also understand that how to pressure the government to employ more officers so that you can have a ratio that works for us. Imagine a police station of 20 people, 20 officers, and they have a partition, they have 50 petitions pending. Imagine how long it will take them to get to each section within the course of the day or the course of the week. Don't forget, these 20 members also have to follow out on other matters, other crimes. They have to also do their normal duties of writing reports. They have to do their normal duties of solving other crimes besides usual petition. So the solution mainly going forward is for us to get more policemen into the system and to create the state police or community police, or whatever name you want to call it. Because I know that they are seriously undermined. I'll give you a personal example. A police officer had to tell me that the fuel he was given to run his station per week is 25 liters. That's something they can use over the course of 2 days and all that. So, they are looking at situations where the system itself does not favor the police to do what they are supposed to do for us. While this is not an excuse for their tardiness when it comes to the case of the boy that died, I'm just telling you that the solution long term is to seriously do something about the manpower deficiency of the Nigerian police. That will solve the problems in the long run.
All right, GKB, well, you spoke about some of the things that you feel the police can do. Well, how about circumstances where people file petitions and they give it criminal coloration? Matters that ought to be between two parties that they ought to go to court to resolve individually. But the police, because sometimes because of maybe what they will see get out of it, out of that petition, they handle it. Land matters, contractual agreements between two parties, you know. Don't you think that also bogs down the police effort in fighting crime?
You are looking at this from two different angles. We are talking about trust issues. And in that regard, you are correct that the police cannot come out shining when it comes to issues that they are not supposed to get to. But people keep forgetting that the police is actually the first point of resolution of most issues. That's why you go to the police station. And you have problems with your wife, you call the police. You have the problem with your neighbor, you call the police. And the police are statutorily mandated to try to resolve the matter before it goes to administration. Fine, they've overstepped their bounds in so many areas, including land matters and all that. But it does not take away from them that ability to resolve matters at that level before the thing escalates any further. But that's what I'm saying. So it doesn't take away their right to do that. That process has been abused is a matter of record. So you are totally correct. But they do have the right. Because now the police is the first person you call if there's any fracas in your home. Police is the first person you call if anything is happening in your neighborhood. So you cannot now deny them the ability to try and resolve the matter before it gets any further. A lot of people have to beg the police for matters of filial engagement, as you know. But I agree with you totally that the police are tapping into areas they don't have the power to do. And by trying to resolve matters that should go to court. But most of the time it's not because they want to be compensated. Of course, that's also a factor. But sometimes even the two people in this suit, once the matter is resolved at that level, they don't want lawyers to get involved, they don't want courts to get involved. So the police is from us. They are part of us. They are our brothers. So whatever they do is a reflection of us as a people. And it's not peculiar to Nigeria. What you complain about is all over the world. Police corruption is global. It's even in socialist countries, even in China. So it's not really peculiar to Nigeria. I understand that Nigeria one is more peculiar because we are peculiar as a people. Right. But a greedy man in whatever circumstances, we still be a greedy man. I agree with you totally. But I still think what we need to do is to give the police more men, more resources, so that if they have 20 petitions, they have 20 officers to follow up, not 5, not 2. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So then, we can now hold the police totally responsible for all our problems.
GKB, maybe the day will come, hopefully, when we can talk about, I don't know, an agency that can handle domestic affairs or something. I don't know. This disputes between neighbors. I want to hang my clothes. The wire is not.
No matter what you do, the police, whatever they do, call them. Personally, I prefer it to the community police or city police. The place where I say when I go to London, the constable in the area knows me very well. And he knows even when the last time I came to London. Because the first time he saw me, he stopped me and he queried me. Now what I'm doing in that neighborhood, that he saw me going to a particular house in the morning and coming out at night. Even in Lagos here, even when I was living at Oshodi, there was a law, I don't know whether the law is applicable now, that when a tenant moves out of the house, the landlord must report to the police with a form telling him that this man has moved out of our house and we are expecting some other people. In fact, there was a time that I know that if you are putting up a guest in your house for more than maybe a month, you must inform the police. These are the joys of state or city police that we need to start enjoying. It's because we have a federal structure that all manners of crime are bundled on the same police. The one you mentioned about domestic violence should be reported to your local neighborhood police. Yeah, so that there will be division of labor. There will be those who are in charge of central roads. What the job that road safety is doing now. There used to be what they call highway police. There used to be rail police. I don't know that they are still there now. There used to be a police division attached to the Nigerian Railway. There is airport police. Their job is basically to ensure security at the airports. All these are things that have been distorted by the military. So we've had it before in this country. The point of the story of the police rather, is that of basically taking away the local LA police and putting them under one roof. It's because of our problem.
All right.
So just like what you said, matters like that should go to a level so small that they will have enough time to resolve more serious crimes. But unfortunately, it's the same police that is handling domestic violence, that we handle kidnapping, that we handle bigger crimes, that we handle financial crimes, that we handle armed robbery. So, and they are seriously understaffed. That's the point I'm making.
All right.
To solve this problem,
Yeah.
it will not solve the problem from where they remind you, but to reduce it to the barest minimum, we need to create more divisions at the local level or pay the state police. That's the ultimate solution.
Yeah, Lagos. We've been talking about the death of singer Mohbad. Fans, mourners across the country would not hold their breath. They keep mourning, especially with the hashtag Justice for Mohbad. Lots of youth across the country want to know what really did happen to the young man. What led to his death? Why was he being bullied in the past? By his allegedly by members of his former record label and the rest. Well, let's take a few calls before we let GKB go this morning. Hello, good morning to you. Welcome to the show.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Dr. Felix, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, this is Matt online. I wanted to ask, why was the rush to bury him? Just as in a such circumstance of death, why did they rush to bury him without looking an autopsy or whatever to get clarification and everything this you said around one thing or the other? They should have not buried him in a rush. Even the casket couldn't contain him. I wouldn't know why.
Reportedly. All right. Thank you for your concern. Appreciate your thoughts on the program. And that's plenty of questions. Really, lots of questions begging response. But we'll just leave things here at this time. We've been speaking with Gani, Kayode, Balogun, journalist and public affairs analyst, talking to us about this today. This call for justice across the country for Mohbad. And as mentioned, lots of youth have vowed they won't hold their breath until justice is served, and they want to know the outcome of the investigation by the police. GKB, in closing, let's get your final thought, and maybe you want to talk about how speedy this investigative process should go. We know that it can be tedious. The police need to check every piece of evidence available. But what would you say as to to the government as to how speedy this should be? Because again, from what you see across social media platforms, lots of impatience on this particular matter.
The first thing is to discover the cause of death. That is fundamental in any investigation. The coroner's report will determine exactly the direction the police and the government should go. And the other thing is just sentiments. I'm not happy that it was very, very quickly, because it will deprive us of getting the cause of death immediately. But I'm sure they've done autopsy on corpses before that are more so. They've done autopsy on corpses that are much older than 1 week. So that would be the starting point. Let us know from the coroner's report what exactly killed the young man. You understand?
Yeah.
All right.
So that's fundamental. I just want to use Nigerians to be patient. The coroner's report should tell us what killed him, how he died, what was in the system when he died. Was there any primary source, or was there a secondary reason, or was there diseases that we're not aware of? So that's why the autopsy was done quickly, and the result was released immediately. This is not the time for bureaucratic bottlenecks. I don't think it would be fair to the family or to the fans or the Nigerian youth to put this under any form of bureaucratic red tape. What they need to do is to do the autopsy and then let us have the result on time. Then the conversation can then start from there.
Thank you so much, journalist and public affairs analyst Gani, Kayode, Balogun, Public or GKB. Appreciate you being on the program today.
Always a pleasure to be on your program.
All right. Have a nice day.
You too, my brother.
Great. Let's talk about the national grid next. Why has it collapsed twice in just 5 days? And what's going on? Why don't you have lights? Do you have light? Let's talk about that next on Industry Hub.